This is a special duty Type 40 locomotive built by the Electromotive division of General Motors. Known as an SD40-2, this locomotive is one of the most successful designs of all time. A 16-cylinder diesel-electric motor provides a stomping 3,000 horsepower. First off, walk over to the locomotive as indicated. To take control, you'll want the engineer's seat. Head over and sit down. Safety always comes first on the railroad. So to start with, we need to let those around us know this. There are 3 key controls to operating this locomotive: the reverser, brakes, and throttle. To the left is the auto brake, which applies brakes along the entire length of the train. Let's move this to release. We're about to move, so make 2 blasts of the horn to alert anyone around. Now that's... You're moving! Great work. That concludes the basic engineer training on this locomotive. So let's bring it to a stop. Move the auto brake to initial reduction.
Welcome to driver training at the Training Center. Today you'll be learning how to drive this EMD SD40-2 locomotive in BNSF railway livery. The SD40-2 started production in 1972, with the last unit being built in 1986. Rated at 3,000 horsepower, and weighing at least 170 tons, the SD40-2 is rated with a continuous tractive effort of 831,000 pounds. Over 4,000 SD40-2 locomotives were produced by EMD in various configurations, and many are still in use today, 50 years after they were first introduced. When you're ready to begin, climb aboard. Sit in the engineer's seat. Over this locomotive. Firstly, you will need to set the generator field switch. This needs to be enabled for the throttle to control the power of the train. This locomotive requires the reverser handle to be inserted before operation. The reverser determines the direction of travel. Switch the front headlights on. Regardless of the time of day or weather, all locomotives must have their headlights on. When getting moving, it's worth remembering the following sequence: independent on, auto off, throttle on, independent off. Let's go through that slowly and understand why. First, fully apply the independent brake. Now, this will ensure that regardless of anything else, your train won't move. Next, fully release the automatic brake. This will release the brakes on the rest of the train, but you won't go anywhere because those independent brakes are holding you. Now, apply a small amount of throttle and verify that power is generated. Finally, release the independent brake and you'll start moving. This is a great practice to get used to because it'll help you with two key areas. The first is that you verify that the train will take power before you release the brakes. You don't want to find yourself without power and having to hurriedly put the brakes back on. The second is that having power applied as you release the independent brakes ensures that you won't roll backwards. On steeper hill starts, you may even need to start with more power. And this is something you can practice and get used to as you find yourself out on the railroad. If you have any locomotives on the rear of the train behind freight cars, you can press the banking comms button to enable radio communications with those remote units. This will ensure that they operate their throttle and brakes in unison with your own locomotive, giving you much-needed extra control on your journey. Press it now, just to get practice, even though there aren't any connected. Coasting is a method used to efficiently maintain speed and reduce motor stress and maintenance requirements. Come to a stop in the indicated position using the independent brake. Independent brakes apply only to the locomotives in the formation and are much faster to apply and release than the automatic brake, which change direction with a reverser. Then change the junction indicated, either by walking over to it or using the map. Before proceeding, check the two couplers are in the right position to allow for automatic coupling. Look at the rear coupler on your train and ensure it's open. Operate the cut bar if it is closed to release it. Next, walk over to the freight cars you're going to couple to and check their coupler knuckle is open too. Operate the cut bar here to open the knuckle. Before coupling cars, always check the knuckles are open, or you'll just bounce right off. Okay, the junction is correctly aligned and the cars are ready to couple. Cars by gently driving into them at a slow speed. And most freight uses automatic knuckle couplers, so they will automatically couple once they connect. If your speed is too high, you risk derailing when coupling. Apply some brakes to slow your approach. Hey, nice work. Now change direction with the reverser and move the train forward into the indicated siding. Remember to apply a little power before releasing brakes. While it's not strictly necessary in the training center, this is the time to start forming great habits. Since you have freight cars coupled, you should slow down using the automatic brake and get the extra braking effort from those freight cars. The automatic brake applies brakes throughout the entire train. Uncouple the cars either by using the external camera or by walking it. That's it for this training module.
Let's take a look at how to use the turntable. It'll come in useful around Cumberland Yard. There are two key components: the table, which must be locked in place to use, and the control cabin where the table is operated from. Take a seat inside the control cabin and we'll get started. On the left is a monitor to view the action outside. In the middle is the rotation control. And on the right is the table lock control. Let's activate the desk by turning the... Now we want to rotate the table to point towards the nearby locomotive. Click and drag the rotation control to move the table in the direction you need. Let go of the rotation control monitor. Before we head over to the locomotive, be sure to lock the table again so that the turntable is safe to drive onto. As you drive onto the turntable, Once stopped, climb down from the locomotive and head back to the control cabin. Using the rotation control, turn the table and locomotive to the indicated track. Lock the turntable in place before you leave, then climb back aboard the locomotive and run it to the designated marker. So, you want to learn about yard switching? Let's take a look. Before a train goes anywhere, crews arrange all the cars together. Meticulous planning goes into making sure the right cars go to the right tracks to make up the right trains. This process is called switching. Climb aboard this locomotive and we'll get started. Set the locomotive up and gently bump into the cars up ahead. The couplers will engage automatically. That's it. You got this. Now, haul them back beyond the switch in the track. these cars with the others on the adjacent track, a switch in the track must be changed. Climb down from the locomotive and walk to the switch. Move. Excellent. We're all set. Climb back aboard and push the cars down the track, connecting them with the others already there. You're doing great. Keep it up. Now to uncouple the locomotive from the cars, climb down and walk to the first freight car. Pull the cut lever to disconnect the locomotive from the cars. That's all there is to it. All the cars required are assembled on the same track. To finish,